The reason you've not seen me since August 21st, 1996, is because on that date, I turned myself over to the Pittsburgh police. On August 21st, 1996, I just returned to my apartment in Washington, Pennsylvania from work when my mother showed up. My mother looked as if she'd seen a ghost. I asked her what was wrong. My mom told me the police were at their house looking for me. I drove my car from Washington to Peters Township Police Station. My mom followed in her car. I approached the police officer behind a desk and identified myself and asked him why was a police officer at my parents' house looking for me. The policeman went to his car and returned with a clipboard. Attached to his clipboard was the information he read to me. The Pittsburgh police have a warrant for my arrest for an assault that occurred on August 9th, 1996. The top of my skull almost erupted as I protested I had 2 dates on August 9th, 1996. I'd not gotten into a fight with anyone. The police officer patiently listened to me. He told my mother he'd react the exact way had he been falsely accused. Given the choice of turning myself in or having the Pittsburgh police drive to Peters Township to arrest me, I chose to turn myself in. I went to my parents' home, popped out my contact lenses, took off my gold chain and tag here watch, changed out of my suit and shoes, and wore what I thought was appropriate to be arrested. Before leaving my parents' home, I phoned the second woman I'd had a date with on August 9th, 1996. I couldn't remember the name of my first date on August 9th, 1996. Marcy was as stunned as I was when I told her the Pittsburgh police had a warrant for my arrest for an assault that had occurred on the Friday of our date. Marcy agreed I didn't get in a fight with anyone, but then she reminded me I had a date before we had our date. My father drove me to the Pittsburgh police. He must have asked me a dozen times to think, did I get in a fight with anyone? My answer each time to my dad's question never varied. No, I didn't get in a fight with anyone. Upon entering the police station, I identified myself and was told to go upstairs. I pointed out to my dad that the sign on the door had Sex Crimes Investigation on it. I became visibly agitated. My dad told me it's a mistake. A police officer emerged from the room. I identified myself. The officer told me to enter the room. The policeman asked me if I knew Chelsea Whitney. I replied that she was my first date on August 9th, 1996. The policeman told me she'd filed a complaint against me, saying I jammed 2 of my fingers into her vagina. I went ballistic. The policeman asked me if I wanted to give a statement. I told him I did. I was read the Miranda, waiving the right to counsel. My dad did offer to retain counsel. I told my dad I'd done nothing wrong. I don't need an attorney. I told the policeman this crime didn't occur, and I demanded a polygraph. When the policeman told me he couldn't give me a polygraph, I demanded he give Chelsea Whitney one. I again yelled this crime didn't occur. Prior to my jury trial, I refused 3 separate plea bargains, the last being 6 months probation if I pled guilty to a 3rd-degree misdemeanor, unlawful restraint. My foolish belief in our judicial system and my absolute innocence compelled me to refuse each plea offer. Also prior to the 3rd plea offer, Chelsea Whitney had given 5 mismatched versions of the date and supposed assault. At my jury trial, the Pittsburgh police, who issued the warrant for my arrest, who should have been the foundation of my criminal prosecution, don't testify for the Commonwealth. Their testimony would have impeached Chelsea Whitney. The hospital worker who recorded Chelsea Whitney's bizarre statement at Maggie Women's Hospital can't testify. Her testimony, too, would have impeached Chelsea Whitney. My accuser, Chelsea Whitney, had testified. After being caught in her web of lies, both the police and hospital records contained things she never said. The Commonwealth's entire case against me was predicated on the lies of a scorned woman. Before walking me to my car, Chelsea Whitney asked me to take her to dinner, and then to see a midnight showing of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I agreed to do so, but something seemed very amiss with her. I left knowing I'd never see her again. There weren't any facts that resulted in my conviction of aggravated indecent assault. Facts are immutable. By their very nature, lies evolve. What resulted in my conviction was the crying game. The assistant district attorney knew this case was based on whimsy, and I'm sure he told Chelsea Whitney to cry throughout my jury trial, and audibly weep she did. Chelsea Whitney was a theatrical makeup major at the Art Institute. Her performance at my jury trial was undiluted theatrics. Her crying game blinded my jury to her glaring misstatements. At my sentencing, I asked Judge Lawrence O'Toole a question he made rhetorical. If the court honestly thought I committed this crime, which of the 5 versions did it subscribe? Judge O'Toole merely nodded his head in agreement. My life came to a screeching halt, but around me, others' lives have changed. My father, brother, grandparents, and many Bell Vernon area high school classmates have died. I cling to the rapidly dissipating thought my refusing the final plea offer of probation was wise, but I'm not sure my putative wisdom wasn't merely pride. Keep this in mind. If you think our jury system is flawless, you must also think O.J. Simpson and Casey Anthony are innocent. I've not given up hope that Chelsea Whitney's conscience won't overwhelm her, and she'll tell the truth of what did and didn't occur on our blind date of August 9th, 1996. I miss my life ineffably. You were part of my life. I miss you too, as I miss my life. Thank you all for listening.